Okay, let's cover some basic Bob's Kitchen housekeeping. I don't make up these recipes. I go out on the internet and I find these recipes. I mess around them with a little bit. Most of my recipes actually are Emerald's. So you can imagine Bob's Kitchen is just Emerald's show if Emerald were a big homo. There you go. This is my kitchen, and today we're making a favorite recipe of Sergeant Chuck. If you're not a live journal, that's Sergeant Chuck and Mrs. Sergeant Chuck's favorite egg recipe. So, the basic ingredients and what we're going to start with is some French bread left out overnight, cut into cubes, or torn into cubes in this case, onions, parsley, a really nice pepper trio, spicy Italian sausage, unsalted butter, ham, but you can use back bacon or Canadian bacon, if you're Canadian, and some lovely Gouda cheese, whole milk, whole cream, and 8 eggs. Basically what we're making is a bread pudding with a lot of savory ingredients. The first step will be to cook up the onions and the peppers until the onions get nice and, well, invisible and translucent. That's our first step. Let's get started. Okay, what we've done is we've finely diced a red pepper, a yellow pepper, and an orange pepper, and half of a yellow onion, and we've cooked it in butter until it's starting to get translucent. Take a look. See, as we're cooking along here, the peppers are giving it a nice color, the butter and the spices are going to do well. We'll cook this a little longer until some of these bigger onion pieces get a little more translucent. Then we'll take it off the heat, add parsley, and get onto the meat. So, we'll be right there. Okay, you can see that nice color we're getting, and the onions are starting to get all transparent. So now we're going to transfer this to a bowl and add the parsley. And we're going to let this onion and parsley mixture cool, then we're going to add it to the pudding here in a moment. Did you press the button? Yes, I did. Oh, okay. Ha ha! Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we've got the sausage all browned up and ready to go. We'll add our ham. And we'll simply brown this ham up a little bit, because it's going to cook again when we bake this. And I got extra lean sausage, so there's not a whole lot of fat to this. But once this browns up, we'll put it on a paper towel just to make sure it's nice and dry, and set it aside and get to work on the egg mixture. Okay, we finished our meat and our vegetables. Now we're going to whisk the eggs and soak the bread. So what I've done here is I've taken 8 eggs. It's soaking in 3 cups of whole milk, half a cup of whipping cream, and some Italian seasoning, fresh ground pepper, and kosher salt. And we're just going to whisk that together. And when we're done, we're going to soak our bread. Okay, our bread that's been sitting out on our counter overnight and getting nice and crusty is now going to soak up this egg custard. It's pretty amazing. We're just going to leave that in there for 5 minutes. And that's going to get all coated with the spices and the egg and get ready to make our savory egg pudding. Okay, this has been soaking for 5 minutes, so now we're going to add the cheese, the meat, and the peppers, incorporate it all, then we're going to put it in a liberally greased cake pan. Okay, so there's your savory egg pudding ready to put in the oven. We're going to cover it in aluminum foil and bake it for 55 minutes. It'll be fantastic. Okay, the second part of our recipe is homemade corned beef hash. I do not make corned beef hash that looks like Alpo out of a dog food can. That's not corned beef hash, that's Alpo. Maybe fried on each side, but it's still Alpo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to saute a couple of cups of onions in some butter. Then I'm going to add the corned beef, some peppers, some potatoes, rosemary, garlic, and then throw it in the oven. And it's going to be easy, fast, and flavorgasmic. Okay, our onions have started to brown and our peppers are in there. We sauteed this in a half stick of butter and a sprig of rosemary. And now we're going to add just a little bit of garlic. We're going to let that cook for another minute, then we'll add our corned beef. Okay, we let the garlic, season everything up a little bit. Now we're just going to add our beef. And we'll stir that up until it's brown. Okay, so we've cooked our meat down, we've got it browned, it's almost ready to go. And we're going to put it through the food processor so we can create this kind of fine consistency. Then we're going to mix it with our potatoes and bake it. Okay, we're ready to pack in our corned beef hash and get it in the oven. So we've combined the corned beef that we shredded in the food processor and the potatoes, and we're just going to take this spatula and pack it into the pan. Then we're going to put it in the oven with our eggs until everything's ready to serve, and in a few minutes we'll be plating up. Okay, everything's out of the oven. This looks great. This is the savory egg pudding. Again, this is 8 eggs, ham, sausage, a trio of bell peppers, and that was cooked in the oven under aluminum foil for an hour at 400 degrees. This is the corned beef hash, corned beef and peppers and rosemary and garlic mixed with blanched potatoes. And let me tell you a little bit about blanching. Blanching when you're cooking seafood means you drop it in, and when you're done screaming you take it out. Being from Idaho, I can hear potatoes scream. So blanching potatoes takes about a minute and a half. Rolling boil in the water, drop them in, let them scream, take them out, and they finish cooking in the pan. So we'll add some footage at the end of everybody sitting around the table having their little flavorgasm moment. But this is Bob's Kitchen. I hope you have a great day. Bye. Okay, so here we are with the guinea pigs. On the right is Brian, on the left is Bob, and of course Morgan, the camera guy, in the middle. So guys, when people make this recipe from this episode, what should they do?
Cook the potatoes.
Cook the potatoes. We found the potatoes were not quite happy. So, to use the Emerald term, they weren't happy. So instead of blanching them, I'd recommend that you boil them. So, other than that, you can see Morgan's plate there is empty. So, some of it was good. So, try out the eggs, boil your potatoes, and this should be a great recipe. This has been another episode of Bob's Kitchen. Everybody wave bye-bye.
Happy cooking.
Bye now.